Hey salon owners, it's Jenny Lee with Jenny Lee Salon Education. Today I want to talk to you guys about determining who your ideal client is. So one of the first ways that we can determine who our ideal client is, we have to kind of take a little inventory in ourselves. What are your best hours when you're most alert and you're most creative, when you're on your A game? Those are the hours that would be the best for you to work so that you can give your best, but also attract clients who are available during those hours. It does you no good to be exhausted, worn out, and a new client come in and you're not going to be able to give them your best. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to need another Diet Mountain Dew or whatever it is. So we actually want to choose the work hours that coincide when we are at our best, when we're working at our optimal time, okay? Let's just think about how that might work. So if you're going to work during the daytime, 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, something like that. Let's take a school, for example. Our salon actually did this, so I'm going to tell you a real life story. We decided to do a promotion with the local schools in the area. And what we did was a small hand lotion. We put them in little baggies, put a cute little poem note on it, had our business card on it, had our hours, all the stuff. And we called ahead to the schools. How many people do you have working there? And we did one for every single person that worked at the school. So it wasn't a very expensive thing. You could always do samples, something like that, something that a lot of your distributors may actually even give you free. So talk about on a budget. You can do this on a budget. You could even give them little cards with just hair tips with a little poem that says, hey, we'd love to take care of you, and your business cards. Anyway, we took that to the school, made sure that everybody at the school that worked there that was an employee got a little hand lotion and with our cards. That started an influx of the phone ringing, influx of clients. What that did was those people who came were available 3 o'clock and after. Teachers were our main market there. They definitely came. They started calling and doing. But when you think about the teachers, it's more than just the fact that they could come after 3 o'clock. That is good because you can start that last chemical service of the day if you're going to work till 6 o'clock, or you could actually do a chemical service and another haircut or two in between. The teacher schedule worked perfectly with the hours that we were looking to fill as a new salon. So the great thing about teachers, they did get out at 3 o'clock. So we could do a chemical service, multiple haircuts. We could do haircut in between service. It really helped fill that 3 to 5, 3 to 6 o'clock time slot. That was wonderful. But what else was a great thing about that was they have holidays. They can take off relatively easy. If they've got a dentist appointment, then they could also come get their hair done, and it would be paid time for them, and they could book the daytime hours. So we've got that 3 to 5, 3 to 6 kind of time slot filled with them, but it also opened up for days that they took off to be able to come during the day. They got holidays off. Summer, you could usually get anywhere from 2 to 3 hair services during the daytime hours just on their summer break. But then you also have Christmas, you have Thanksgiving week, they have fall break. So the flexibility of a teacher schedule is wonderful if you're trying to fill a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 6 working schedule. Okay, so they have family members that when they go back and tell them what a great service they got done, then now they're recommending you to family. And then the family starts coming in. Those people have the potential to have more flexible hours. So it's not now just we address the teachers and we got that 3 to 6 time slot filled with the potential of breaks during the day. Now we have the potential for family members, aunts, everybody, sisters, to be able to come in during the day also. So that's another plus to the teacher marketing. Teachers not only have families, but they have friends. So they've got other friends that potentially have a more flexible schedule and can come in during the daytime hours. So you've got extra family members, you've got extra friends and things like that. We also have the potential for the administration of the school. Those people a lot of times can take a lunch break so they can come in during the daytime hours. We know who to start to go after to try to come into the salon, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. These are things that you can do just with your business cards that you have, that you can print off on your printer. You can ask your sales reps for free samples, things like that. And if you can't do the entire school, because I think we had several hundred gift bags that we gave out, and the whole staff was so excited to come over and go like, oh, they brought goodies. But you could do it on a smaller scale and say, we're going to give away 20 of these and take it up to the school and let the school decide who's going to get it. Or you could say, we're going to do the first grade and you're going to give it to all first grade teachers. And then in a couple of months after business is building, we're going to do the second grade, and just work your way through. So it's such a great low budget, easy way to market. But first you need to know your hours. Okay, so suppose you are more of a night owl. We want to come in like, 11 to 7 or 12 to 8. You want to be able to sleep in. The beautiful thing about that is being able to sleep in, being able to, go to a Bible study or go work out or, go have brunch with your girlfriends, and then you're going to go to work. So those hours are a little bit later. You work your best a little bit later in the day. So we want clients who will also have the potential to come in later in the day. That is going to narrow down who you're actually trying to market. Instead of trying to market to just anybody, you need people who are going to be able to come in later in the day. So you could choose maybe more professional people or people who are working 8 to 5 that are going to be needing to get their hair done later in the day. You could do the exact same scenario that we did with the teachers in the schools. You could do that with an office. You could go in, call them, how many people do you have working there? How many people are in your office? And be able to take them by some kind of little goodie that says your name, says where you're located, all the services that you offer. I will say this, people who are working the 12 to 8 time slot, you can build a clientele pretty quickly. The problem is your clientele is limited. So we want people who are going to be able to come in a little earlier too, maybe a little flexible. But typically those people are going to come after 5 first, and you build a relationship with them. And then they see, oh, I can come on a lunch break, or I can go in a little early to work and leave a little early and make an appointment at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or whatever. But you might have never gotten those people if you didn't work the 5 to 8 time slot. Does that make sense? That because you've worked these hours, you now have the potential of those clients coming in a little earlier in the day. Beautiful thing. By just focusing on certain people, what are their work hours and what are their needs, and how that is going to blend really well with what I do as a stylist. Those are my optimal hours. So then those are the people that I'm targeting. Same thing as the teachers. They've got friends, they've got family. Those people might be more flexible and be able to come in at 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock. All of those people after 5 might be able to come at 12 o'clock to get their lunch, get their hair done on their lunch break. You want to focus on people that can come during those particular hours when you're at your best. And one of the easiest, greatest ways, if you're starting from scratch as a salon, is to go and meet these businesses. Let them introduce yourself. Get hyped. Anybody is excited when somebody brings them a little goodie. And just by bringing them a little bag of a sample or just your card and your info. And like I said, you could even do a card with hair tips on it. They will be so excited to get that. So it doesn't cost you hardly anything except a little bit of time, a little bit of elbow grease. But then you start having people rolling in, start calling you, and that's going to be a really great, easy way to get people who are going to work during your optimal hours, getting you closer to your ideal client. Okay, along with hours, you also want to pick the days of the week that you are at your best or that you would desire to work. So are you a person who might want to work on Mondays? I call that National Hairdresser Holiday. I love to do education and classes on those days. I know a lot of hairstylists like to go do classes on those days, but you might be somebody who enjoys working on a Monday. Tons of clients would love to come in on a Monday. So that would be, are you somebody who would want to do that? You've got a huge, a wide open array of possibilities of potential clients if you want to work on a Monday. On top of that, you might want to work on a Sunday afternoon. I've got a friend who is a counselor, and she works Sunday afternoon because that's the best time for her clients, but it's also the best time for her and her family situation. It just works really good for her. And so therefore she was able to determine and the best clients that work for her schedule. So we're trying to find a win-win for everybody here. So in choosing the days, you could also say, do you want to work football Saturdays? I used to work in a salon where we worked every Saturday, and it was fun. We would play the football game, whatever the big game of the week was, over the speaker. And so everybody, like, it was so much fun. You know, a touchdown happened and you could hear parts of the salon go, yay. It was something that added to the environment and the culture. And that might just be something that you like to do, and your salon works really well with that. So choosing to work on a Monday or a Sunday or a Saturday later in the day, that could be something that works great for you, and it will help narrow down who you want to market to. You're going to be marketing to people who are super busy and can't come in during the week. They're super busy. They have little kids. They have to go home and be at home on those nights. A Saturday or a Sunday or a Monday even might be the perfect time for them to get their hair done, and perfect for you too because you're at your best. You know, sometimes we want the ideal client, but it's not fitting with our time schedule. If we can step back and look at, are we working our best hours? Are we working the best days? Life schedule. Are those the best hours for me physically, mentally? Take into consideration my family, obligations that you have outside of work. Being able to step back and just take a quick inventory of our hours and our days can be a huge step forward in making yourself available for your ideal client. Okay, so the second tip that I've got for kind of determining who your ideal client is to talk up your services. If they have something that they're really good at, they excel at, then you need to just talk it up with your client that's in your chair. You don't have to brag on yourself, but what you can do is talk about how much you love to do something. You can talk about how much fun it is to do this certain service. I have so much fun. Oh my gosh, I love it when I get to do TZ lights. I love it when I get to do baby lights and see that blend. Just talk up. And if there's something you enjoy doing, talk it up. Make sure that the client knows that. You may know it, but by not telling them and sharing that with them, then they're not going to get the joy of it. They're also not going to see your expertise in it. Sometimes they need to be shown that. They need it, and then they're excited to go tell someone else. So when you talk up the service that you love doing, it's going to help fire them up and make them feel special and be like, ooh, they're kind of an expert in this. And they're going to go tell someone else. The other thing is, any classes that you do, learn as much as you possibly can. Then use those techniques on your clients. Anybody that's sitting in your chair, try to think, is there a new technique? Is there something that I've seen that I want to try, and be able to get really good at it? Use it, do that on your clients, and then point it out. I have enjoyed so much getting to do this new technique. That gets them fired up that you are always going to stay on the top of your game, that you're always going to be trying to grow and learn and use the new and latest techniques, that they get to be a part of that. So they get to go on your learning journey. So that's a very easy way to market your salon, by just showing your client how much you love a certain technique or you love doing hair. Another way that you can talk up the services that you love to do, you could have like a little note or like some type of signage on each station. So like, what I think would be super cute is Jenny loves balayage. Just write it cute, Jenny loves balayage. And you could put like a heart or smiley face or whatever, and then stick it on the station, stick it on the mirror, stick it, somewhere that's eyesight for your clientele. That if they don't get balayage done, that's going to get them like questioning, oh, you love balayage. Okay, well, what is that? Or, it just gets that conversation going. And not only that, it takes it a step further. This new stylist, she loves to do balayage. Like, she loves it so much, she put a sticker on her mirror. Things like that stand out and are going to differentiate you from every other stylist, every other salon, okay? So yeah, sticking a little sticker on there would be great. I love smoothing treatments. I love texture building. Anything that you can think of that's a specific service that you love doing, advertise it, talk it up. And when I say advertise it, I mean stick it on your station so they can see it. Remember, we're doing this on a budget. So that's an easy way to get conversations started, and it's an easy way for them to book another service. Suppose they came in for a haircut and they the balayage. They may book for a balayage for the next appointment. So that's a super easy, budget-friendly way to start building and marketing clientele as you're trying to determine who your ideal client is. And along with that would be to, like, as you're doing the service, ask them, oh my gosh, I'm loving this, this regrowth is so soft now with this, demi color that we've got going. If you know of anybody else who would love this, if you've got any friends that you think would love this, please send them my way. It just gives me the biggest thrill to see somebody come back in 8 weeks and their regrowth line not be bad. If you know of anybody else that would love this service, please send them my way. It's just a great way, because if you're trying to determine who your ideal client is and you're enjoying this person in the chair, you're trying to market for the service that you like to get done, that person can tell somebody else who loves to get that done. And that's going to be a very easy way to get somebody else that likes the services that you like to do. If you love to do balayage, but you get one balayage a day and you get 4 traditional highlights, this is a great way to start bringing in the people and determining who your ideal clients are, bringing in those ideal clients that actually get the services done that you love to do. Okay, so tip number 3 in determining who your ideal client is going to be, this tip is going to sound backwards. The tip is don't shortchange yourself. And what I mean by that is it's so tempting when you're trying to build a clientele to discount services. But when you discount the services, you're really not attracting your ideal client or even a potential for an ideal client in most cases. People who jump on discounts and coupons typically are just looking for the freebie. They're not really looking to build a lasting relationship. They may be looking for quality, but they don't want to pay for it. These type of people are typically not going to be your ideal client unless you want people who just come and go a lot. If you're looking to build a clientele and you want that clientele to be built up of people who value you or appreciate your skill, your talents, who are willing to pay what it costs to do that, the physical toll that it takes on you, as well as the inventory and the product that you have to use. If that falls in line with your ideal client, then you want to start off there. Don't start off with someone who is only looking to get, 20% off. If you bring them in and you do like a 20% off, say you've done 20% off of color, all you've done is set yourself up to have the awkward conversation of what does that discount look like? So it was 20% off of color. Well, is it whole head color? Is it a color refresh? Is it gray coverage? Is it a type color service? How much work are you planning to do or willing to invest knowing they're not going to be paying the full price, as well as they're probably not even coming back? Those type clients don't appreciate all the steps that it may take to perform a service or to get a look that they see on Pinterest or Instagram. And so all they're seeing is, I want that look and I want my discount. And so why would you work yourself to death and be willing to not get paid what you should have gotten paid for that service, and then knowing that they're probably not even coming back? So why do that? Just don't shortchange yourself. Keep yourself educated, always up on the new skills, new trends, new things like that. And then be okay with waiting for the person who's going to be a much better fit for you. You're looking for your desired ideal client. So just don't shortchange yourself. That's tip number 3. When I say that, all of these tips so far, the hours and the days and not shortchanging yourself, you want to make sure that what we're doing, looking for our ideal client, is going to align with your entire life. Okay, not just your work life, not just your financial life, but also your entire life, because all of those things can spill over into the rest of your life and interfere. So it can cut into family time, it can cut into friends time, it can cut into your health, fitness time, or just taking care of your health. It can dip into your times to do hobbies and things like that. And we need these times in order to be creative. Like, we are creatives, but we can work ourselves silly to the point that we don't have time. We barely have time for family. We barely have time to eat, especially when we're working, but we barely have time to take care of ourselves. You can work yourself into a spot like that, and now you're not even creative anymore. So when you're looking at your desired client, when you're trying to see who the ideal person would be, it needs to make sense. The hours, the days that you work, the discounts that you're not going to take are all going to play over and spill over into the quality of life that you get to direct. All right. So as I recap, we are choosing the hours and the days that are going to be the best for you when you're your most alert and you're your most creative. Want to protect that. So figure out the services that you love, and then you're going to talk it up with everybody. And then we're going to not shortchange ourselves. Remember, tip number 3 was kind of like a backwards thing. Instead of doing this, we're going to say, don't do that. Don't shortchange yourself. You are worth it. The fact that you're watching this video says, I'm curious about how I can find the best clientele that's going to fit. And we want to find the ideal client that aligns with the things that are going to give you the best quality of life and be able to bless that other person. So anyway, those are 3 pretty good tips, I think, for determining who your ideal client is, and they will give you the greatest foundation, and then you can move forward to the next steps. So those are our 3 tips for kind of starting to determine who your ideal client is. And you know what? Let's talk some more about this. If you've got other ideas, put them in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going, and we will definitely come back and explore this some more because it's a huge subject. But these are 3 great ways to get started on determining who your ideal client is. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Put something in the comments below and let's get to talking about it. Thanks so much. I'm Jeannie Lee, Jeannie Lee Salon Education. I'll check you later.